Good. I don't know. I don't know what time of day it is. Judging how I normally stream things, you're probably watching this on the on the VOD end. But good evening, good morning, good afternoon, happy late night snack time, wherever it is you are, and whatever time of day you're watching this. This is delayed. Uh, it wouldn't be it would be funny if it wasn't serious, but there's a I'm okay. I'm not in anything severe, but I've had issues with my ears. My head's been clogged, like um like swimmers ear. Is that what they call it? Where it feels like everything's muted. So yeah, I've been trying to drain my head, and just it is it. Charles is feeling funky. In other news, water wet. So last night, I wasn't. I felt like the entire world was on a wave, and I couldn't really focus. So yeah, put some drops in my ear, and here I am. Going at this time because there's a couple things lined up, and schedules are funky. Tonight I have something planned, and then tomorrow night I'm going to be witnessing Gringo Poppy over on the last panel, and maybe I'll like it. I need to have camaraderie for fellow comedians, but nothing about what I've heard is making me feel optimistic. Fourth drawer down, what's going on? Yeah, so I don't know if you're following me on Instagram or what. I did put a post up recently. So I had a video that I put up 2 weeks ago. I guess it correlates to this. It's related to a movie or a pair of movies I watched in November, and I discussed a technical aspect of these two movies, and it was weird because they weren't getting much. Uh, um, you know, there's videos that I have that don't get a lot of views, but something like that, it was like well below 100 views, and like it's one thing if if it's me farting around on a video game or whatever, and there's like 3 likes. Usually I can figure out like, okay, there's not an audience for this. People don't watch that, but everything about that video felt funky, and it was blocked for copyright, and I fought it because of all the videos. Like I can kind of get behind or try to understand the idea of a movie review not really counting as fair use, although whatever. For the sake of argument, that is probably a bit more sturdy an argument from the studio's perspective than me explaining why a shot works and showing you the shot. I cannot explain the shot without showing it to you. But I fought it and I lost. Warner Brothers has fought me on copyright for my dolly zoom video on One Battle After Another. I also discuss the Running Man there, and I lost. It makes a little bit of sense why it wasn't getting spread or didn't hit 100 views. I think it was because it was in like copyright limbo. But I'm like dejected. I probably should have waited to do the stream, but like I'm just out of like I don't know what to do if I'm not able to like. It's not like those videos are movers for me, but like this is something I do for some sort of pleasure. And like I don't know, like I just feel terrible. I feel dejected. A bunch of nihilism running through my throat, and yeah, what's the point? Why make videos with any sort of visual aids if you're just going to get fought on it? But yeah, I tried, and now I have a strike. I have a strike because my definition of fair use is not the same as Warner Brothers'. And yeah, so there's that. A gentle reminder to support your content creators because God knows what's going on the other end of things. But I don't know what I'm going to do. Like it might just be streams moving forward because can't copyright claim my face. Um, Let me catch up with the shit. Yes, sir. I have suffered from that issue. Pray for your speedy recovery. Thank you. Is it a water thing over here? Movie Worm. Hey, man. Enjoyed you and Brian talking movies last week on his channel. I appreciate it. Um, there's something I want to talk about, but won't just to, feed the bear. Brian and I had a very civil conversation. I don't think I cursed either, which is very hard for me. You guys should realize that there's a difference between Autop Stream, CP and Brian, Brian's channel, CP and Brian, and this channel, CP and Brian. And Brian's channel, CP and Brian, was probably the most tame, the least performative. And it's an interesting discussion. He said a thing or two that I wanted to wring my own head out. But luckily I didn't curse. We had a discussion, and yeah, it's one of the different flavors you can get the CP and Brian experience in. On his channel, you probably see the closest thing to best behavior. Gray, Funky Charlie, been watching stuff this last month. Oh boy. Gray says that was an amazing and informative videos that those assholes blocked. You educated me on why I like those shots. Well, I appreciate it, Gray. I really do. If I could put my conspiracy hat on, I literally this morning, about 2 hours after my video was blocked, Studio Binder did a video on that very scene from one battle after another. I wonder if they have to go through Warner Brothers or what. But the funny thing is, in my video, I said, I don't think anybody's talking about this yet. And I was accurate. But the timing just makes me think flat earth thoughts. But what could I do? JDev, what's up? Up yours, WB. You're getting sold soon anyway, allegedly. Maybe they need to cover their money. Maybe that's why they're claiming all this shit. But yeah, the next time they send me some sort of thing to cover, yeah, okay. Hold your breath. It was a good video. You managed to make something worthwhile about 2 movies I did not care for. Well, that's sweet. I appreciate that, Jacob. It's varying degrees of Brian. Right. Sorry you're crestfallen with Swimmer's Ear. If it helps, I know you have a good eye for shots in film. Well, tell that to Warner. Yeah, so this stream, I'll try to pick myself up, even though some of the movies I watched in November, Jesus, further reasoning for me being absolutely depressed. 19 movies total I watched in November. First time watches. There's a couple of new releases there. Well, there's one brand new release, which is The Running Man, and a couple of over the course of history. There's one like film school movie that I watched for the first time, and the missus watched it with me last night. So if you're new to this scenario, this style of video, we go on the rankings of Letterboxd. So I have my diary on Letterboxd, and the way it pops up on this list is the lowest ranked movie of the 19 I've seen. The lowest ranked as far as Letterboxd is concerned will be first. And the best movie as far as Letterboxd is concerned will come up last. That's not to say that these are my worst to best list. It's Letterboxd. I've made it so that you can see this star score that I gave it. So you'll have an idea, like if, we're only 5 movies in and I have a 4-star rating, you can get an idea that, oh, there's not going to be 15 5-star movies here. It's where Charlie Boy and Letterboxd disagree. Doc, what's up? All right, without further ado, a very, very strange month. You'll see why in a second, or maybe not. Where did it go? I love OBS. Oh, there it is. Yep. So as far as Letterboxd is concerned, the worst film of the 19 I've watched is Poison Ivy 2, Lily. I made my wife suffer through this. There's a project that I'll be catching up with, the entire Poison Ivy franchise. That'll be a video in, actually, I don't know, because New Line makes Poison Ivy 1 and 2. New Line, of course, owned by Warner Brothers. So I'll talk about an erotic thriller, but I won't be able to show you any footage. That'll be fun. Any hoozle. Poison Ivy and Poison Ivy 2, we watched those over the course of 3 or 4 days. Yes, Poison Ivy has a franchise. 4 full movies. You watched part 2. Yeah. And apparently, when you see what's up next, right? Yeah. I'm shocked that Poison Ivy 2 is the lowest ranked on Letterboxd. I have a personal note review here. Oh, and you can see it. So my review says, so this Lily girl finds the diary of Ivy and decides to dress a bit more adventurous and be a bit more sexually open, all while never really giving a convincing idea that her character is genuinely interested in any of these activities. How can you make an erotic thriller boring? Nudity alone isn't parallel to conflict. Yeah, it's, listen, 14-year-old me probably has a very different appreciation for this movie. And fair. Listen, if you're a young man going through adolescence, there's quality to be seen in this movie. But not story, not believability. Nudity without context. If that's all you're looking for, give it a whirl. Woof. The first one, it's funny that there's 4 films based on this first movie that, I don't know. In the early 90s, I'm kind of giving my thesis away for the video, but the early 90s was full of erotic thrillers, and there was certainly enough good ones to try to emulate, and then you have Poison Ivy. But there's 4 of those movies. There's only 2 Basic Instincts. There's 4 Poison Ivies, and at least Basic Instinct, you're like, it's a pretty good movie. Poison Ivy 2, yikes. We were having the discussion here. Apparently, this is just theorizing here. This was the last time that Alyssa Milano had done nudity in film. And Alyssa Milano, of course, was part of the Me Too thing. Not connecting dots, I'm just saying words. But it's a little interesting because there was a period there in the mid-90s where Alyssa Milano was doing a bunch of those raunchy, straight-to-VHS movies. And this was the last one. So whatever that's worth, which is not... Grace says, nudity needs no context, sir. Yeah, I stand corrected. The Poison Ivy movies give the Cruel Intentions movies a run for their money, all in the worst possible ways. Yeah, and the thing about Cruel Intentions is I'd rather watch Cruel Intentions, and there's no nudity in that. So whatever the fuck that means. All right, here we go. I don't have numbers. Next on the list from Letterboxd. It's Zyzzyx Rd. So this is like notorious for being like the biggest box office flop in history. Like it was made for like $6 million and like made 30 or something. So it's like notorious for being just an absolute disaster as far as the box office is concerned. My reply to that is if this wasn't released to theaters, it would be just like other shitty shit. It's just it's bad. The acting is stiff. It's not really entertaining at all. I want to make sure that I get this right. The fact that this movie has infamy for its lack of box office success really doesn't speak much to the film itself. Relatively speaking, you can do far worse. The film is not good at all, but I would call it an otherwise run-of-the-mill straight-to-DVD thriller that shouldn't stick out, if not for the absurd title, but I wouldn't call it offensively bad. Tom Sizemore is the lead male in this, and Katherine Heigl is the lead female in this. And you know how many movies you can hang your hat on with Tom Sizemore as the lead and or Katherine Heigl. This is like pre that fucking Grey's Anatomy. Like this is pre Grey's Anatomy, Katherine Heigl. So what a bad title. Yeah. To those of us who remember the Red Shoe Diaries, my commiserations. Yeah. Yeah, there's like if you want to watch smut, there's far better smut. This is not that at all. It's just bad. Although there's a similar connective tissue there, that young woman with an older man. I don't remember. Oh, she does lie about her age in the movie. There's not really. I thought you meant $30,000, not 30. No, 30. What's with the Tom Sizemore shame? Love me some Tom Sizemore. Me too. Usually there's a bigger name on that bill. Wait, this can't be right. Is this ranked by my ratings? I have to take this down for a second. I screwed it up. Not having the best day. Not having the best 2025. Sort by average rating. Oh. So I'm actually wrong. I cannot believe it. Zyzzyx Rd is not the second worst. Poison Ivy 2 is still the worst, which is interesting. But next from the bottom, not Zyzzyx Rd. It is 2025's Regretting You, which is this the Grace McKenna movie? I just watched this movie last week. Here's my review. I don't know if I'm numb to these dime a dozen melodramas or the movie itself has a numb approach to it all. Probably both. The best compliment I could give this movie is, looks like the swankiest Hallmark movie I've ever seen. That is all. The fact that Grace McKenna, did I do that wrong? Looks like a genuinely classic Hollywood beauty just months after me seeing her in What We Hide makes me believe she's on some age acceleration drugs. Yeah, she's like she was in the latest Ghostbusters movie a year ago. She was in that What We Hide movie earlier in the year. And like she looks like someone in their young 30s. And I don't know how I feel about it. It just she's growing up way too fast in films here. McKenna Grace, that's the way to say it. Allison Williams, Dave Franco, Willa Fitzgerald. I think that's why I was drawn to this, because Willa Fitzgerald was in Strange Darling. She wasn't in Regretting You that much. Gray says that's the Colleen Hoover one. What were you expecting? I don't know what I was expecting. Regretting You sucked. Yeah, so I was in the dark. I had my connective tissue there. Oh, what's her tits from Strange Darling? I'll watch this. It's bad. Like it's really bad. High school friends, college friends, young friends get one of them gets pregnant, but they both slept with the same guy, and now they're grown up, and the one who got pregnant's daughter is McKenna Grace, and however old she's supposed to be in the movie. But the other one is now pregnant. But the thing is, they're with each other's exes or whatever. And tragedy strikes, and they have to be drawn together. And like they're realizing that there's a bunch of lies that were told, and they feel terrible, but they need to find a way to love each other, and blah blah blah. Like I'm telling you, I'm hoping the Hallmark Channel has the rights to this and will play it soon, because you fooled me. It's like a big studio Hallmark movie, and there's nothing else I could say about it. Like it looks good. If I were watching the Hallmark Channel and this were on, I'd be like, oh, nice. They put their money into the production. But McKenna Grace and Millie Bobby Brown are visiting the same pharmacy. Splitsville is the only romance movie anyone should be watching. Skip Materialists and Regretting You. I'll agree with that gauge. Splitsville is fucking awesome. I think that's one of my favorite comedies of the year. Materialists is in the middle. It's like a drier, I don't know, less fun version of Hitch. Not like I'm, defending the honor of Hitch or anything. And yeah, Regretting You is just, no. 2 stars is very generous. I give this one. You gave this one a half star. There weren't things that were obnoxious. Like I said, it just felt numb. There wasn't anything that kicked off. The performances were right. It looked good for what it was, but I don't know. Recency bias. Recency bias. If I hate something, I'm always a little bit harder on it, and if I love something, I'm a little too rah-rah about it. So we'll see. I'm never watching this movie again, although it'll probably be on like a doctor's office or some shit when I go. So that was voted less good than Zyzzyx Rd. All right. Well, mark the time code. Okay, so 24 minutes, 50 seconds. Shelby Oaks, I gave it 2 stars. Out of the 19 I've seen, Letterboxd has it at 15. I don't know if there's anything on here that I have lower than 2 stars. I don't know if I would agree with Shelby Oaks being that low, but this movie, it has way too much noise around it. Like there are so many different reasons for people to be talking about it and reacting to it. Like there's at least 5 different things that people are like driven by the discussion, and separating all of it. Listen, as a YouTuber, as someone who's fighting Warner Brothers and losing, it's neat. It's awesome that someone chased their dreams and did it. Rooting for the guy, that's awesome. Can I judge the artwork now? I think it's very possible to separate the artist from the work, the human being from the art. Um, on one side, you have people just hating it because he's not reviewing movies anymore or giving negative reviews to movies anymore. Right, that's ridiculous. And on the flip side, people are getting called what, shills? I don't know why that is the case either. It's ranked this low on Letterboxd, so there's not too much of an influence that's weighing the score down. It's rotten on Rotten Tomatoes, which is full of movie critics, people that Chris Stuckman has worked with and hung out with and whatever. So I think there's this thing. I don't know of anybody who enjoys the movie and is like shitting on people who don't like it. It just seems to be this opposite-ended thing where it's just like, how dare you? He broke our trust, and now you're giving it a 3 out of 5. It's very strange. There's far too many things around this. I'm wondering if maybe a year or two from now, if this movie can just have like a normal discussion or normal coverage, because it looks good. It's shot well. I would hope that someone with as much experience with movies as Chris Stuckman would have some sort of inherited eye, and he does. The problem with this movie is it's like 3 different movies. It's this like Poughkeepsie tapes thing in the first third, and then the middle part is probably the least interesting. And then at the end, you have this twist that, if I say the twist, it'll ruin what the experience is. But there's 3 different movies. And for people that think, like, I've seen people like the found footage aspect. I don't like found footage. Just want to get that out there. The beginning, the first third or so, feels a hell of a lot like the Poughkeepsie tapes. Wasn't a fan of the Poughkeepsie tapes. Script isn't that strong, like, at all. Something that I could say over the course of time when someone gets their first movie out there, like, later than their mid-20s, there's a lot of, I don't know, experience, emotion on the screen. Usually people like their first movie out there is powerful. I don't know if I don't feel like this is like 30 plus years of a dream from the filmmaker here. It doesn't feel like it's, I've been waiting decades to tell this story. He's got a good eye. He's raised plenty of money. I'm sure he'll get another shot at this. But well, to that, I think people bringing up the budget, I don't think that's fair either. To be completely fair, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't it one of the the highest raising money things on GoFundMe or whatever? So there was a lot of interest in it. So if there's that, you can't also say, well, the budget was low. Well, no, it wasn't. It's one of the highest grossing crowdfunded movies. So relatively speaking, it's doing quite well. I don't know why we have like those kid gloves for that aspect of it. The budget's low. The budget's low. Yeah, but all things considered, it it doesn't look like, there's not like CGI dinosaurs in it or anything. So I don't like that. That it feels like something of a crutch. But it looks good. It looks good. The script isn't very strong at all. It's disjointed. It feels like 3 separate movies, and, the part that is probably the strongest is a type of movie I don't like to begin with. The middle part is probably the weakest, which is strange. That's where all the conflict is. Um, I'm not Shane Dawson hating it, but, I'm not, jumping over people to recommend it either. If you're interested, watch it. Um, it just feels like so many different, like, again, he's very clearly someone who's watched a lot of movies and soaked some of that in. When you watch a Tarantino movie, he puts so much of his, experience and inspiration on the screen. Stuckman, it feels like he's remembered things from other movies and kind of puts them out into this movie. Not quite to the level of Tarantino, but um, maybe him filming somebody else's script. I'll do the Rob Zombie caveat. Good eye, don't script it. There's my note. It should have CGI dinosaurs in it. Yes, well then that's where you complain about the the budget. He picked some great locations and did a nice job with the atmosphere, but it was creatively indecisive. Too much fixation on the lore that he clearly wasn't interested in. Stick to the human story. Right. Yeah, it's very broken, and like there's the connective tissue just doesn't work. The things that happen in third act, it's like, oh, wait, so wait, we spent an hour doing something else completely, and this aspect is just, oh, by the way, Stuckman is just shy of Tarantino, Charles 2025. I did say that. Don't forget to slash that like button and sub this awesome channel. Appreciate it, Eli. Thank you. Oh, okay. Thank you, Sean. What? Are you sure, Sean? Are you sure, Sean? Oh, cool. Reminder that the video cannot be monetized. Mm, are you sure, Sean? Can you just put it in the chat? I promise I'll read it right now. It's not here. Just put it in the chat and I'll read it. Odd. Yeah, but I think if this were a Shane Dawson movie, just completely separating movie YouTube from it, this is like Acolyte all over again. It's not great, but it's not awful either. It's probably got fans, and it's, for the most part, it's, something you watch. It was last night. Theaters in serious trouble if this year's box office is anything to go by. Right. Yeah. They're going to be short of last year's, and last year's, the excuse was, well, some of the year is tainted by the strikes. Since COVID, they've had growth every year. Like the first 2 years after COVID, it was just like you couldn't really judge it because movies weren't back in theaters properly. But 2023 was like the beginning of the road back as far as the theater industry was concerned. But 2024 was a bit of a stumble, and it looks like 2025 is actually going to be worse than 2024 as far as the finances are concerned. That's bad. That's very bad. And I don't know, when you have Paramount and Warner Brothers, again, Warner Brothers, I'm not shedding a tear at all for fucking Warner, that's for sure. But they're buying all these companies and becoming monopolies and shit. The theater industry is going to be left in the dust, and it's one of those things where if you love going to the movies, you got to put your money where your mouth is, because if I had $1 for every time someone talks about, oh, Blockbuster, why'd they get rid of Blockbusters? Because people weren't renting shit anymore. It's dark. It's getting dark for the theater industry. It'll probably be okay for a little bit, but it's probably going to be a thing like, when I was first working at the theater, drive-ins were on their way out. It was getting really dark for drive-ins. And now they're like a really special thing. There's maybe one per 5 towns. Movie theaters could go that way. People's entertainment isn't exclusively the movie theater anymore. There's so many different things that are vying for entertainment dollars. And money sucks right now. So when you put out the same 5 movies, just with different coding on it, people are like, yeah, I don't need to see that. I'm not wasting my food money on this month's version of the movie from 2 months ago. If Netflix buys Warner Brothers, theaters are done. They're not going to change their business model? No. I'm going to see Avatar, so I'm supporting an important movie. Yeah, Disney appreciates it. Avatar, another movie that sequel made 2-point-something billion. No one talks about those movies. The strangest thing ever, those fucking Avatar movies. There's like, the one thing I can think of is Barbenheimer. And that was like this internet created event. We'll go watch Barbie and Oppenheimer because those are two totally whatever, but they were released on the same day. And it was something of like an internet event. Minecraft, something of an internet event. But even those things, they try to capitalize on that shit and miss. Sony screws up the internet thing more than anyone, but I don't know. It's really dark. We'll probably do a year in review show businessy thing sometime soon. But I don't think they're topping last year. I think they're going to be. They're supposed to expect more than 9 billion. I don't think they're hitting 8 billion this year. I could be wrong. They might already be at 8 billion. Well, they're not hitting 9 billion, that's for sure. Or that's my estimate. All right, anyway, Shelby Oaks. Shelby Oaks is less good than Poison Ivy. That's not just me saying that. That is also Letterboxd. What did I say about Poison Ivy? Come on. Poison Ivy. Oh boy, there's a lot. There's so much about this movie I would point to. Try that again. There's so much about this movie that I would point to some other movie if you were looking for that aspect. The movie screams old school Skinamax for sure, but it lacks any real bite, ironically. It's just a less good version of similar movies. Heck, even The Crush was released around the same time, but thankfully it is not what I would call Basic Instinct for those seeking a teenager as the antagonist. It feels like the movie wants us to feel Drew Barrymore's character has some sort of effect on all major characters in the family, but none of it has any real teeth. If you want to watch Lolita, just go ahead and do that instead. A little harsh, I feel like, was the strangest thing ever is casting today's Sigourney Weaver as a teen. Yeah, they're out of ideas. It's pretty clear. Poison Ivy, if this were a standalone movie, if it weren't the first of 4, I don't know. There's nothing about it that I can point to and like understand stuff. Like, I'd like to know who thinks this movie is good enough to like put it in their top 4. Like, who has Poison Ivy as one of their favorite movies? It's just a watered down like it's a movie you've seen before. Like, I don't know how else to put it. Regretting You is a Hallmark movie. Poison Ivy is something you would catch on Cinemax at 2 a.m. Like, the only thing that gave this movie infamy was the fact that you had a rebellious Drew Barrymore in this. And that's what gave it attention. People were like, ooh, Drew Barrymore. What is she? Oh, she's being a bad girl in this movie. That's it. Other than that, there's nothing really. Tom Skerritt as kind of a sleazy father. And Jacob says, until a few minutes ago, I assumed this was the only Poison Ivy. I remember next to nothing about it. And like that, yeah, I saw it 2 weeks ago and I could say the same thing. Huh? It's a movie that if you're like going to watch it for like the trashy aspect, you're going to be disappointed because there's not really like nudity and sex. Like, it's a really bad job, especially in that early 90s wheelhouse. Basic Instinct, Sliver, some of those Demi Moore movies that were kind of a big deal in the early 90s. There's just a bunch of smutty movies. And then there's movies that aren't smutty but are like really good thrillers, like Malice, Nicole Kidman, Alec Baldwin. Like, I can recommend you so many different movies that have like a better taste and it's like in the same neighborhood. Poison Ivy, there'll be some sort of content on it in the future. So if you'd like to hear me say more about it, subscribe and be on the lookout for the Poison Ivy franchise video where we're doing something of a thesis statement on erotic thrillers. Yikes. Okay. Next. Good Fortune. Rather heavy-handed in its delivery of class separation, but the delivery of dialogue equally feels stiff and just off. So there's that. It has a decent enough intention, but it has the charm of a rather witty insurance commercial. The subject matter absolutely does not match the cadence of the actors in like any scene. Puzzling. Yeah, this is the Keanu Reeves, Seth Rogen, Aziz Ansari movie. Aziz Ansari, I think, directed this. His delivery is the same in everything. Like, like that's the way he delivers in everything. I would say he's typecast, but it's his movie. Like, I don't know what that is that he's doing, but it's grating, to say the very least. Keanu Reeves, like, you can't go wrong. It's just an absolute, it's just a teddy bear, a sweetheart. And he literally plays an angel in this movie. But again, it a really weird period of time here. Like, if you own a movie theater and you're banking on something like Good Fortune to save your ass, you're in trouble. Like, that's part of it too. Good Fortune, like, Angel talk, like, I don't know if it was just what I watched recently, but a couple of movies where they focus on and hover over class separation and the poor and the rich, but not really doing a good job of it because, you know, still Hollywood after all. Uh, but it's it's another movie that's toothless. Um, Good Fortune is the kind of well-meaning milk toast comedy that just irritates the shit out of me. I'm glad I could just highlight your comments because you get to it a little bit quicker than I do. But I agree. Like it's Keanu Reeves. I really like. I want to enjoy this movie and couldn't. It's just like between Shelby Oaks and Good Fortune. Those are movies that I I don't know. I don't know if I would watch them on a flight. Like in a flight, you have nowhere else to be. So you're like kind of trapped into watching this thing. I don't know. I would watch an old episode of, I don't know, fucking Friends or some shit instead. If you got nowhere to be and you're stuck, yeah, it's okay. Next, this hurts. The Running Man. Edgar Wright's The Running Man. As you can see, I gave it a 4.5 out of 5. I like this a hell of a lot more than Soho. What did I say? I was quite concerned when the movie didn't spend that much time with the setup. I'm not kidding. Things are essentially moving by the 10-minute mark. But what better experience would you want from a film titled The Running Man? If this movie came out 2 years ago, I would find it too ridiculous, but the fact that the country being mocked has accelerated quite a bit towards believable in only the amount of time since this was probably filmed and getting less and less humorous makes some of this feel poignant. Wright's decision of a dolly zoom was, oh wow, make sure Warner Brothers doesn't hear me talk about this. Wright's decision of a dolly zoom was such an interesting yet subtle choice in a movie that has quite a few tropes of his that I was really shocked he didn't choose to lean on a gimmick in otherwise obvious times. I truly hope this movie does well for him. There's so much to appreciate in an otherwise on-the-nose satire of the accelerating nature in which America heads towards the Squid Games. Please give this guy a Chris Nolan budget. That's not looking too good. So, yeah, I I don't find the Arnold Schwarzenegger version, like it's not one that like I have any particular fondness about. And I quite enjoyed the Edgar Wright remake. I think Gray said that it's closer to the book, which is interesting because I don't know. I don't know how much of it is referencing the book, how much of it is just holding a mirror up to America. But like I said, if this came out prior to January 20th, 2025, I would think it's a little silly. But it's gank looking. It's weird watching an Edgar Wright movie that doesn't have like pop, or at least color. The visuals, they pop, but it's just lots of grays and just the pores don't have any color. I don't know. I need to watch it again because The Running Man is not a popular IP, so it is. Is it really that shocking? It flopped. I don't like the Arnold one, so whenever it hits Paramount Plus, I'll watch it. So, have you seen it or not? Because you seem to be making declarations based on what everybody else is doing. You just asked me about the theater industry doing poorly, and here you are saying that you'll wait for streaming. Um, The World's End is his best movie. That's a take. No, I have not seen it. All right, so reserve your opinion until you've seen it. Tonally, it isn't like the book at all. Very sanitized with a corny feel. Good ending. Yeah, I think I heard that. I heard that the ending is kind of gnarly. Not my least favorite Edgar Wright fic. Well, I'm not saying that it's not higher than the Cornetto trilogy. Like if this is Edgar Wright missing, he's doing fantastic. And I would put Soho at the bottom, but I still enjoy that movie. I don't know. I'm wondering if America is kind of tired of being reminded just what a fucking shit show our country is. And I think those people should get used to it because as someone who picks up on news from outside America, we don't look very good to the rest of the world, like at all. And so art will usually kind of put a magnifying glass over that. Soho is good, so good. Right. Like that. That's like if you were to say this is Tarantino's worst movie, I'd be like, yeah, okay. Still a 4-star movie. I'd put it below Soho, and I didn't like Soho either. At least there were consequences in that movie. Yeah, like I said earlier, recency bias. Maybe the shine is new Edgar Wright is what I'm all jacked up for. So whenever it comes out to streaming, I'll join Sean in watching it on streaming, and then maybe it'll my expectations or whatever my immediate feeling will get tampered down a bit. But yeah, I'm on a budgeting CP. I can't afford to see every movie in theater, so I pick and choose. And I've never been high on theaters as both, so I don't need to see every movie in theaters. Well, that's fine, but don't talk about, oh, this is doing terribly. Well, you're not adding to it one way or another. And if you plan on seeing it, just watch it. What does it matter what people say about it if you're definitely going to see it? I could see if it's like, oh, I don't know about that. Let me see what so and so says, and then have it decide. But if you're going to see it anyway, like what does it matter what people are saying? Dennis, Running Man is out on streaming in about 2 weeks, December 16th. Why do you know that? Is that the day and date for Blu-ray too? We killed this character. Psych. No, we didn't. Ugh, I hate that. Jacob, that's my problem with Black Panther, the fake out death trope. Just streaming. Okay. All right. Well, 2 weeks. So jump back for the December episode and I don't know, I'll try to remember to relog it. Me telling myself to remember something, I'll forget it in 10 minutes. I will genuinely, I know I'll rewatch it by then, but I'll try to remind myself to do a circle back. Or maybe I'll do like a YouTube short where I review it and just give my calm down feelings. I'll tell you what kills me here is what's next. All right, so Running Man, I give it 4.5. Up next, as far as Letterboxd is concerned, Eden Lake. Forgive me, I forgot who it was that suggested this movie. I watched it. This is one of those, I wouldn't quite say that this is who would like that level. Like it's not disturbing, like that level disturbing. It's a movie where it reinforces the fact that like British teenagers are just shits. It's weird that young men in the UK are, I don't know, more obnoxious than teens in the US. Like if you had guns in the UK, oh, but this movie nails that, and it's another one of those movies where like trying to be socially polite because your kids being kids, um, and hijinks ensue, and things just go further and further out of control. It's fine. It is not better than Running Man. I am sorry. Huh. Eden Lake is easily the best movie you've mentioned so far. Now that's a film that doesn't walk anything back. The latest Now You See Me. Oh, right. Oh. Both out and streaming on 16th. Wasn't Now You See Me like just in theaters like last weekend? Well, yeah. Eden Lake. It's like this. This also ran as far as who would like that type content. It's not quite that gritty. What's the Danish movie that was, or the Dutch movie that was remade like a year later by Amazon, about the families that were on vacation together? What the hell? Xavier was in it in the American remake, or the whatever British remake. Fuck, my brain is broken. Well, anyway, there is that like Danish Dutch movie that was really fucking gnarly, and the third act was brutal, and then Amazon redid it. Thank you, Gray. Speak no evil. Eden Lake is like a watered down. And I don't mean watered down. Like it's not quite as hardcore as Speak No Evil, but it's in that same feeling weird socially vibe. I do think Eden Lake is better than this next movie, which kind of surprises me and disappoints me. I've enjoyed what the Safdies have put together. Maybe I just don't think The Rock can cut it. The Smashing Machine. Also, it should be noted that I'm not really a big fan of MMA, but that really shouldn't matter. My question to whoever put this movie together is, why was this story important? Like, I didn't know anything about the actual human being. So I was expecting, I don't know, maybe it's because I was expecting something to happen in the third act, and nothing to that typical, tropey way that something happens in the third act to someone who's doing things a certain way. This movie just kind of ends. Like he becomes something of an addict, but you don't really see it. Like you don't really experience it. Some incredible willpower by this guy. Just has steroids and hardcore pain drugs, and just throws him out when he decides that he's done. Smashing Machine benefits from coming out around the same time as Christie, which is a worse sports drama. I haven't seen that, but everything's doing worse. Everything. So maybe people just don't want to watch biopics about people punching each other. This is not a first-time watch. Sounds like Charles wanted scissors but got rock instead. I probably would have watched Christie and hoped for rock. Scissors. Fuck. Home for the Holidays, that was what we watched on Thanksgiving. Not a first time watch. I think this is the first time in my life I've given it a 4 star. It was like a 3.5 for me, but slice of life, you know, fucked up family movie. And it's a lighter entry than The Ref. If The Ref is just a little too hardcore with the language and everything, may I suggest Home for the Holidays and the Thanksgiving vibe. And Robert Downey Jr., high off his ass, outperforming Aziz Ansari sober. That's all I'll say. I'm glad that Home for the Holidays is ranked higher than Smashing Machine. That's interesting. Next, this is the lady of the house wanted to rewatch this. I don't remember how it came up, but with honors, this technically counts as a first time watch because I think I saw it when it came out. I was like 8. Joe Pesci, Brandon Fraser, and like they're Patrick Dempsey's in this too, by the way. Really, really interesting cast. College kids who put up a homeless guy. The homeless guy played by Joe Pesci, but Joe Pesci Brendan Fraser throws out his dissertation or something. Like his computer breaks and he only has one printed copy of it. Like it does not make sense. If you know how keyboards work and computers and just, writing works, it just doesn't make sense. But, they take Joe Pesci in and, he trades pages of the dissertation for favors and get used to the phrase boy, oh boy, because that's his thing in this. He goes from what the fuck is so funny about me to boy, oh boy. I don't know. It's I don't know. I'm like haggard. Like I'm just sanded off at the edges. Luckily for me though, well not luckily for me, but Emily was just kind of stone faced too. It's not a movie, I don't know if it's something that I would like say people need to see. And well, here we go. Scott says, "With honors is a good holiday movie." Charles, come on, you're being a Grinch. That could be true. I'm not doubting that. Yeah. Okay, but yeah, With honors, movie from 1994. I gave it 2 out of 5. Uh, if you'd like to see, like, if you have to go through the history of Brendan Fraser, here's something he made prior to The Mummy and after Encino Man. Those are my notes. Oh wait, I am lying. I did document this. Oh. So I wrote, this movie makes reality bites look like singles. Lol, get it? Those are all college age kids movies from the 90s. I'm so witty. Next on the list, Roof Man. I don't know if this was brand new when I saw it, but it's new-ish. I gave it a 3. So I wrote, if you wanted a family-friendlier version of The Town, behold. However, this movie is a scratch uneven on the characters' motivations, as family dynamics go in an odd shift for the second half. Worse off, this movie proves that Roof Man is responsible for the demise of Toys R Us. Trying to be too witty. Yeah, Channing Tatum is another one of those actors where not quite to the level of Keanu Reeves, but one of those actors where it's like, yeah, I don't mind. Let me watch him. Escapes out of jail. but he's got a family that can't get in touch with, and then he falls smitten for a Toys R Us employee that the Toys R Us is like where he's living in there because he's on the run because he escaped from jail, and he kind of you know falls in love with Kirsten Dunst's character and her family, and again, his motivations are puzzling because he he it, as far as the movie's concerned, he just doesn't well they don't bring up his concerns for his actual children or child, excuse me. It's odd. Um it's not meant to be some serious, movie. It's kind of light in nature, but there's just this big crack in it that I have a hard time. I don't know, like the amount of stuff that he was risking. Uh, it didn't add up. It's fine. I'm being way too critical on one character like moment there because he has a kid and he escapes from jail and he hides out in a Toys R Us and then he goes and falls for another family and it's like, well, what about the one you've got a family at home? I don't know. Edgar Wright's best movie, Sean, is Hot Fuzz, in my opinion. Channing Tatum gave a better performance in this than Affleck in The Town. I will agree with that. This is not better directed than The Town. Affleck directed a better movie in The Town than Roofman. Sean is perfection to me. I'm not going to fight you on it. I get it. I would claim it's one of those two. It's one of those two. Matt says Roofman's the biggest surprise of the year. Slow down. Biggest surprise of the year. I wasn't expecting this movie to be so emotional in the end. I was like, he's doing so well and feeling so happy, but it's going to be over soon. Yeah, that kind of comes with the territory, though, right? Like, how much can you live in a Toys R Us? I mean, it's a neat idea. Like, I wish there was a way that they could have done this without. I don't know, make it a little bit more lighthearted. That like he eats nothing but candy because he's in a Toys R Us, but he goes to the dentist. Okay. Guy trying to stay off the radar, but he's going like I'm nitpicking to death here. I agree. It was a pleasant movie. If you've seen the movies that I've watched this month, Roofman is like, oh, I don't want to jump off a bridge. How nice. Roofman has a better story and stronger character work in The Town. All right. I'd time you out, but do not endorse. Oh, Scott says, sounds like the cousin of Career Opportunities. I haven't seen that. No, I do remember them spending time in a supermarket. But I thought they were just like on an overnight shift. But it does remind me of that. Jennifer Connelly, right? Yeah, good pull. Thank you for saying the title too, because I would have forgot that. But yeah, it's fine. 3 stars for me. It's right in the middle. I watched a lot of miserable things, so Roofman is the movie that I needed to help weigh things out. Next, Predator Badlands. I give it a 3.5 out of 5. I love the romance angle of this. I'm glad that finally we have Predator on synthetic relationships happening in the Predator franchise. It's fine. It's mid to good. Like it's not the Predator. It's not AVP. I think some of the complaints that I've seen are absolutely ridiculous. the idea that, a one of their kind, the watchdog, I can't say their name, the predator people, that the the main character here is like one of the weaker ones. Um, yeah, that's a bit more interesting a take on these these beings because like if you know they're going to win everything, what's the point of watching it? Having him not resort to, cheat codes and his see-through shield thing. It was interesting that, you had relationships that he built with half a human, or excuse me, half a synthetic, and some of the things that he does in the movie or they do together, it's a nice touch. I'm not saying that it's better than the Arnold Predator. I don't even think it's better than Predators, but it's fine. Like the complaints that I've seen for Predator Badlands, I don't know what movies you would like based on those criteria. Foreshorn Down says everyone loves a romance. Like, I was being facetious because um, then there's friend of the show Grace Randolph who I don't know how she's picking up on romance there, but Jesus, it's if you wanted Stand By Me, but in the world of Predator, may I present Predator Badlands? Or maybe not Stand By Me, that's a little strong. Maybe, I don't know, Sandlot? I borderline hated Badlands. Found Elle Fanning insufferable. Why? Because it's a woman? It's fine. I get it. I she did have some hokey things to say, but I understand what it was they were trying to have it seem like. I can get that, but um, you know, the skill set of the predator is not one of the complaints that I've seen you list. Next, ugh, if I had legs, I'd kick you. I don't know what the fuck I did in November that made me watch so much miserable shit. But oh my god, great movie, 3.5 out of 5. I don't ever want to watch this movie again. Um, it's just like the trauma and stress of being a parent and just having everything happen at once and just like needing a minute, just a lot. That's what the movie is. It's just like stress. Um, well-made movie, but I don't ever want to sit through this again. Did I? I did. What did I say? Considering I have some amount of trauma when it comes to stress slash being overwhelmed in life, this movie is far more a PTSD session of a singular character rather than a story. Yeah, I have my own personal shit. I have baggage I'm bringing to this movie, and yikes. If I had legs, I'd kick you lower than Running Man. No, this isn't Jacob. This isn't my rank. Oh well, yes, my ranking it is lower. Yes. Never mind. I think I understand what you're saying. Yes, yes, yes. And if you want to coin toss it down to, I'll watch The Running Man again. There's the coin toss winner. I will watch The Running Man again, and maybe my mind will change. But the she's a crazy fucking broad. Yeah. Oh, you're not gonna like this next one. Okay. Begonia, 2 stars, and 2 stars just for technicalities. It's a Yorgos Lanthimos movie. Of the Lanthimos stuff, Begonia could be I have not seen The Favorite. Begonia is lower than Kinds of Kindness, lower than Sweet Things, Poor Things, Sweet Things, um, lower than The Lobster. The thing about Lanthimos, like, we've had so many in a row. Well, not in a row. He's had new things like every year for a little bit now. Like the gimmick, the shtick feels a little. I don't want to say tired because it, if you're expecting it, you'll be just fine with this movie. But it just didn't work for me because I'm not that blown over by Lanthimos' style. Maybe I should watch The Favorite. Maybe that'll change my mind. But like from, I, I feel like The Lobster is a bit different than this, and I guess even Poor Things. Between Kinds of Kindness and Begonia, I just I think I need a break. It's not you, it's me, Mr. Lanthimos. Maybe just take 2 years off or something. It's odd. Tarantino's just refusing to do anything, and Lanthimos just like every 6 months got something new. 4 movies left. Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? First time watch. Yeah, I have no excuses. This is a movie that I just put off and put off and put off. I think I heard that it was a musical. It's not really technically a musical. The thing about the Coens, when they do like comedy, when it works, but it seems like that's a very thin line for them, because when they do comedy and it like doesn't work, it gets like really silly and really ridiculous. But Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? I was shocked at how much I enjoyed it, even after all this time. Um, yeah, gorgeous movie. It's that sweet spot for the Coens and humorous film. I don't have an excuse. I don't want to say anything too positive here because it'll make sense in a little bit. But Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? 4 out of 5 for me, and I have no excuse. It's no Fargo, but I think I like it more than Raising Arizona. Plemons, though, this is so different than his others. Yeah, okay. Dogtooth, Dogtooth. Alps, Sacred Deer are still his best. Nothing else he's done comes close. Only 25 years late to the party. Well, thank God I am late because, well, I don't know why I put that off. Did Burn After Reading come out right after that? I think it was something like that where I was like, oh, is this what their comedy's like now? But no excuses. Anyway, continuing with the happiness train. Oh, no, we're broken. Come on. Lilia Forever. Thanks to Lapsed. This movie's miserable. Like miserable. If you ever thought of propaganda for giving every poor person on the planet like a free $1 million, this movie would be that. Holy fuck. It's miserable. I think it takes place in Estonia. young girl, her mom leaves to go to the U.S. and like she's suffering through life, living in like shitty communist era apartment complexes, and bunch of poor kids, and they fucking huff glue, like, because it's what, cheap, free, whatever, and anything to not be in the environment, in the headspace that you're at that moment, and then it somehow gets worse. What a fucking terrible movie. Not terrible, like, it's well made. Tonally, there's 2 or 3 things that don't make sense. The movie opens with a really heavy Rammstein song, but the emotions that are parallel to that scene don't match the music, like, at all. But it just the it the one thing I can say about movies that are not American is they don't have problems with giving you a not a happy ending. I feel like American movies, if anything, they need to somehow send you out of the theater with a smile on your face or something close to it. And the rest of the world is like, fuck you, that's not what life is. And this movie is more of the same, where I don't know. The closest thing to feeling good about anything that's happening with the character is like in a dream sequence. Or, buying cigarettes. Fucking 15-year-old girl buying cigarettes. Fuck. This probably qualifies for a who would like that video. The one thing that I'll give them a lot of credit for, this young lady resorts to, well, not even um, work in the world's oldest industry. It's more of a trafficking nature, and the way that they shoot those scenes is the most respectful, classy. I don't know what word I'm looking for, but they shoot it in no sort of erotic sense. It's just brutal, and you're getting it from the POV, and it's just ugly. It's ugly. It's grunting. The POV is a really. It stuck with me. The way they shot the scenes. It's like, I don't know if you're maybe too happy. Maybe watch Lilia Forever, and then you can kind of come down a little bit. Lilia is a powerful film, but a bit stagnant. Yeah, I just I don't know. I this is a movie that maybe if this was the only type of movie like this I watched in like a quarter of a year, that'd be one thing. But the fact that this was like the 4th movie this month that I watched, and I was just like, ugh. I need to watch. I need to watch more Roof Man. The most recent on the list, Touch of Evil. Yes, first time watch. Yes, I did watch the opening oneer in film school, but never watched the film. Owned it for years, never watched the entire film. We watched the Orson Welles proposed cut of it. Kino Lorber put together. There's three cuts of the movie on the Kino Lorber edition, and we watched the work print. No, not the work print. The whatever Orson Welles requested when he had it made. Fucking, you watch old movies from 70 years ago, and then you watch Orson Welles stuff, you can tell that he was doing something very different. Um, it looks fantastic. It's the problem is it's a noir, it's a crime noir. But the problem with watching movies like this after seeing, dozens of movies that they've influenced is it doesn't hit the same way. But the makeup work is like, yeah, fucking Orson Welles, man. When he was going at it, he 70 years old. The makeup looks fantastic. If only Orson Welles knew back then that he would end up becoming the size that he was towards the end of his life, he wouldn't need all that makeup. A great movie. I'm late to the party, very late. And lastly, but not wait, why are you doing that? Why is that doing that? Hey, and a surprise to absolutely no one. Letterboxd and I agree. One battle after another, 5 stars. Shout out to Warner Brothers for allowing me to talk about this movie right now. Great movie. I cannot wait to watch it again. Things that people are complaining about with this movie. I had a mild discussion with Brian over on his channel. You could hear us kind of offer slight, excuse me, sir, I think you're wrong there. Not quite yelling at each other, but he brought up a thing or two that I don't agree with. Someone suggested that I watch Ben Shapiro's review of this. I don't know why I would do that. Why would I trust Ben Shapiro's opinion on a film that I gave 5 stars to? But maybe. I don't have any notes as of right now. With 1 month to go in the year, One Battle After Another is my current number 1 film of the year. We'll see. I don't know if anything is coming out in the next 4 weeks that'll knock it off. But fantastic movie. I rather enjoyed it. I would love to talk more about how the third act just totally just wins me over and is this incredible release of all the tension, but I don't want to get my hand slapped. One battle was awesome. My only issue is no one in the movie is relatable to me. That's fair. Understandable. I think part of why their names are like that is because it's absurdist. Like Perfidia, Lockjaw, like those names are like purposefully extravagant. And I would hope that wouldn't be relatable. I mean, if anything, maybe DiCaprio's character in the second half is something close to relatable. But yeah, that's fair. It's no WAP review. Wet ass P word. I will second The Lady Killers as the worst Coen comedy. How did that go so wrong? It's been a while since I've watched that. One battle after another suffers from poorly rendered characters. The first 15 minutes feels like it should be its own movie. I don't know. Not crazy about it. That's the first time I've heard like the inverse. I've heard that the opening's a little silly. Oh, maybe I heard the inverse of what I think is the inverse. I'm going to watch it again. Maybe I'll circle back and discuss both The Running Man and One Battle After Another. Both of those movies were discussed in my Dolly Zoom video. I'm mourning the loss of making content. Yeah, so that's that. the rare occurrence where Letterbox and I agreed on our on the movies that I've seen in November. I gave it 2.5. It's right down the middle for me. I need to rewatch There Will Be Blood. Or I need to just watch There Will Be Blood. One Battle, it's too long for me. I didn't like the music choices. It's a great movie, but not to use a British term, not my cup of tea and not a fan. The music choices. The score or the soundtrack? That car chase was fucking mint, I'll say that. Me too. Man, I would love to celebrate it on my channel. Yeah. Magnolia is peak PTA, also like Punch Drunk Love and There Will Be Blood. See, I feel like there will be there I feel like One Battle After Another is like this hybrid of Punch Drunk Love and Magnolia. I feel like it's just this funky blend, and I'm here for it. I don't know. Again, recency bias. I really liked it. I really liked Running Man too. So who knows? Maybe I just I have to wash the Lilia forever out of my eyes. Ryan, what's going on? I imagine he's referring to the seemingly never-ending score. Yeah, that's Punch Drunk Love too, though. Like that's it's another thing that I feel like the third act, that chase kind of really releases all that. Like it's meant to aid your tension. I don't know. I learned something about that car chasing. Yeah, it's a studio binder video. The score of the piano thing. Yeah, it's similar to Punch Drunk Love. Or is it Magnolia? It might be both, but Punch Drunk Love, I remember it being a little funky with the fucking piano in the street. Yeah, that's fine. I didn't make it, and God knows after today, I'm not going to try to defend the damn movie. If you want to boycott Warner Brothers, I'm not going to stop you. Yeah, so that's November done. Emily and I will be possibly. I don't want to put anything into the ether that doesn't happen. We might do an episode of Brit and Twit, possibly. She's watched a couple of things with me, and she's far more articulate than I am, and maybe she'll be able to go a bit further. Because God knows when I have edited content, you know who wrote the script. It's not the face you're looking at. So it'd be nice to hear back from the Brit. And yeah, let me know down below if there's anything that you saw in the month of November for the first time. It doesn't have to be new releases. Let me know what you saw for the first time and how'd you feel about it? Did you watch something new for the sake of the Thanksgiving holiday? Please click like. Now more than ever, I need your support. Oh, wait, can I advertise that? I don't think I have the... See, I'm bad at OBS. Yep, nothing here. Can you do that? It's not even working. It's just a comedy of errors. Oh, there it is. Subscribe at patreon.com/WILIscredia. Until next time, thank you.
Say goodbye for now. Stay around, but it won't get better. I've gotta put my trouble down. Say goodbye for now. Stay around, but it won't get better. I've gotta put my trouble down. Put it down. put it down.